I was working full time. As soon as I'd come home, I was reading. My sister and my brother-in-law were spending a lot of time reading around their full-time jobs. My boyfriend was working flat out at that point. My mum was reading, so we all were reading. And then my boyfriend came up with the idea that my dad, who's a whiz with spreadsheets and things like that, to get him involved in a way that he could provide this spreadsheet of information looking at each drug. And so we had different columns that we discussed. So as I mentioned, the disease reduction rate, the disability reduction rate, but also common side effects, rare side effects. And then my favourite column was the column which was Lucy's opinion, and that was based on different things. So, for example, one of the drugs had an excellent reduction rate, was relatively new to the market, but was involved monthly infusions. Now, I'd be happy to do that, but in the Lucy column, it said that I wanted it that whilst it wasn't life altering, it was life affecting to me, because I would want to make sure that I was there for every infusion, which meant that there was a regular appointment, which would be fine. But if there was something else which was going to have the same effect or an even better effect and didn't affect my life in this way, it meant that that was going to be, and we would score them out of 10, Dad and I. So we had all of this information, and we then went to discuss my treatment with the MS nurse, and that was my first appointment with the MS nurse, so that we went completely prepared. We discussed lots of other things, and then we talked about because I was highly active and rapidly evolving, or rather because my MS was highly active and rapidly evolving, the feeling within the RVI they said that, well, within the whole MS community, they had noted was changing. So they were in agreement with me that they wanted to, as Carmel said, hit this hard and hit it fast. And that was music to my ears. That was exactly what I wanted to do. I didn't want to wait round and wait and see what happened. I wanted to kind of go at this and see what we could do. So we discussed Tysabri, which was the other one that I'd looked at, which I mentioned was the monthly. And the RVI have been involved in the Tysabri trials and things like that, so they know that drug, they know how to administer it, they're very comfortable with it, and they're comfortable with side effects and things like that. So they're very confident in it. And my dad happened to mention, he'd brought the spreadsheet along, and he said, well, actually the one that Lucy preferred was Lemtrada. And my MS nurse said, really? Okay, right, yeah, that's fine. Lemtrada, that's fine, we can go for that. And that was amazing, to be able to have done all of the research so that we could go in and know that there was a preferred one. Now, obviously, if I hadn't got that preferred choice, I knew there was other ones, and we graded them. So I knew, I felt I knew confident in what each one came with, the commitment, the side effects, how that would affect my life. And it was just amazing to be told that I could have the treatment that I'd chosen. So yeah, it was really helpful.